I'm not going to cry about a group of people that don't give a crap about their constituents. I'm not going to sympathize with them.
The leader of the Proud Boys is talking about the members of Congress who feared for their lives on January 6th.
Everybody stay down!
As a mob attacked the Capitol.
They shouldn't have breached the Capitol with violence.
He says that now. But the day after the violent breach, Enrique Tarrio posted this, a picture on social media of members of Congress trying to hide as the attackers began their siege.
At least one of the insurrectionists facing charges for rushing the U.S. Capitol has flipped on the Proud Boys in exchange for a plea deal. Welcome into TYT's Overruled. I'm attorney Adrienne Lawrence with the legal edge for you. Individuals charged in that January 6th insurrection attack on the U.S. Capitol are cooperating against the pro-Trump extremist group known as the Proud Boys. Now, is anyone really that shocked that these patriots are turning on one another in an attempt to evade prison time? I'm not. Regardless, this is a pretty significant development for law enforcement because with more definite information about the coordinated attack on the Capitol and U.S. Congress, well, the Justice Department can now bring more severe charges against the Proud Boys leadership. At this point, some 24 Proud Boys have been charged in connection with the January 6th attack. Federal prosecutors have made clear that they're trying to build a conspiracy case against leaders of the Proud Boys and that paramilitary group known as the Oath Keepers. Now, that really does kind of beg the question, though. If prosecutors are able to take down the leaders of these groups, or cut the snake's heads off, shall we say, will it be enough to shut these extremist groups down, or are they just going to grow another head? We're going to have to wait and see. What we do know is that prosecutors are going to continue to try to pressure individuals with potential information to see if they'd be willing to become witnesses for the state.
Down at the border last week, I asked Donald Trump if he would ever apologize for January 6th.
Mr. Trump, will you apologize about January 6th?
One of those congressmen, North Carolina's Madison Cawthorn, told me he still believes the election was stolen. Of course, it wasn't, but listen to how some of these Republican lawmakers still consider Trump the leader of their party.
What are your thoughts on associating yourself with the former president after he gave that speech on January 6th and provoked an insurrection at the Capitol? Why associate yourself with him?
Well, I think, Jim, you and I both know that I completely disagree with that assertion. The complete premise of that question is that he invoked an insurrection. I don't believe that's what happened whatsoever. I think he spoke at a rally. I think what happened on January 6th was despicable, and the people should be prosecuted that broke the law. But I genuinely don't believe that there was any kind of provocation from anybody who spoke that day.
And let me ask you, why continue to associate yourself with the former president after he lied about the election? There was an insurrection on January 6th. Why continue to associate yourself with former President Trump when you can find other Republican leaders to come down to the border with?
President Trump was the most effective president of my lifetime, and what we're here today to talk about is a cornerstone of his legacy. His policies secured the border. The Biden policies have opened the border wide open, creating a humanitarian crisis unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Right.
Joe Biden created the worst humanitarian crisis this country's ever seen. Has this guy never heard of COVID-19, the pandemic we're still technically going through, the one that shut down the entire planet for all of 2020? Or is that just another one of the million things that Republicans continuously deny?
So I'm chairman of the Republican Study Committee, the largest conservative caucus on Capitol Hill. We embrace the Trump agenda, especially on border security.
Do you see him as the leader of the party right now? Do you see him as the leader of your party?
He is a leader of the party.
You don't think it's inappropriate to be here with the former president, given his role in January 6th, given how he lied so much about the election? I've known you a long time. You've served in Congress a long time. That doesn't bother you?
You know, we can always ask questions like, should anybody be with Bill Clinton after the things he did, including pointing his finger and lying and covering up? I think the reason we're here is Governor Abbott is showing leadership, and governors all over the country are rallying with Governor Abbott to recognize that there is an invasion.
Hopping and skipping around and running away from and denying the truth is nothing new to the Republican Party. What's up, everybody? I'm Jackson White, co-founder and chief of content at Politiscope, and thanks for tuning in today to TYT. So let's dive a little bit deeper into Republican denial and how that impacts policy, such as climate change legislation, and how 139 members of the 535-member United States Congress are climate deniers who, unsurprisingly, have taken over $61 million in donations from oil, gas, and coal industries. And the top recipients are none other than Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz, Steve Scalise, Kevin Brady, and good old Jim Inhofe. You know, the senator from Oklahoma who brought the snowball onto the floor of Congress in his genius display of scientific reasoning. It's cold outside, I got a snowball in my hand, therefore, climate change ain't real.